Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us again this Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time for the San Diego Brewers Guild Happy Hour at Home. I am Beth Demon, local beer writer and journalist. As always, we've been doing this since, I don't know, March or April or something. We're going to be checking in with a couple different folks in and around the San Diego craft beer scene. We're going to kick things off with Calico Cidery up in Julian. So, starting things off with not beer, but pretty darn close. Then we're going to hop over to Vista and check in with the folks at Wavelength Brewing Company. And then take it down to Normal Heights to check in with Jeff over at Blind Lady Ale House and Panama 66, RIP Tiger, of course. And I'm sure we'll be talking about that, but hopefully focusing on all the positive things that we have to talk about this holiday season. And then we're going to wrap it up with the folks at Hidden Craft downtown. That's one of the newer spots here in San Diego. And from what I understand, they've got a pretty sick array of different local independent craft beers on draft at any given time. So I'm looking forward to talking with them because I actually haven't touched base with them yet for a story or anything like that. So we're going to see who we talk to. But I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. We did take the week off, and I don't think we have any other weeks off planned in the near future because if my calendar serves me correctly, it's not fun, Wednesdays aren't on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve or anything like that. So I think we are good to go to resume this 4 p.m. every Wednesday for the time being. But before we get too far into it, hopefully I'm not drinking alone, but I do have, obviously I try to always drink a local independent San Diego craft beer every week. So this week I've got, of course, a hazy. Picked it up on Small Brewery Sunday at Chula Vista Brewing in Chula Vista, obviously on 3rd Avenue. Their Warplanes Hazy Pale, 5.8%, brewed with Simcoe, Citra, and Mosaic hops, which, is there a better combination of hops, especially for a hazy or just anything in general? I mean, I think that's the same Weekend Vibes from Coronado has that. Literally this is just the best combination of hops that I can imagine. And this is just a pale ale, not an IPA. So that'll be interesting. But they also just, pro tip, they had a brown ale available as well, and I have drank a couple of those because they're in 4-packs, not 6-packs, but yeah, the brown ale, anytime that somebody's got a brown ale on tap or available in a crowler or can or anything like that, I'm there, I'm ready. I'm trying to drink all your brown ales. So thank you so much, Chula Vista Brewing, for having a great selection of things that I like a lot. But let's give this hazy pale a try. Simcoe's funny. Simcoe's a funny one, in a good way, in a great way. But it's if I want to feel real savvy about identifying hops, Simcoe's a real easy one. So just, quick parlor trick for you guys out there. But obviously I got to get my koozie because I want to keep my beer cold and my hand warm. And if you guys are drinking anything particular of note, please do feel free to comment and let us know, because I always like to know that I'm not drinking alone, which is sort of my life right now, pandemic, right? Just drinking whenever. But over Thanksgiving, I went through my garage fridge just to take inventory of the beer I had, and it turns out I have a shitload of sours. Too many sours. I'm going to say I have too many sours, and unfortunately I can't just have a big bottle share for people to come over and help me out with it. But I don't know if anybody has any ideas, maybe some cool recipes or something like that, because I like a sour, but I've got easily 40 bomber bottles of sours, and I'm just I don't know how I'm going to get through this without having help. So any help, any tips or suggestions, you just feel free to let me know, because I could use all the help that I can get. But before we bring on people, let's do a little bit of news. California Wild Ales, they're going to be taking over. I'm totally brain farting on who they're taking over an OB for, but they are going to be opening their second satellite tasting room in Ocean Beach, which is super dope. And I really feel OB, they're a quiet contender for sick beer spots. Obviously, California Wild Ales, you just joined. I'm talking about your OB spot. Obviously they've got Pizza Port, which is amazing. But like the Kilowatt tasting room and all of the other tasting rooms there in OB. I mean OB Brewing, like their sick rooftop patio and their GABF award-winning stuff, and they've always got Dunkels and Weiss beers and like really just totally off the wall, but like amazingly good things. Like OB, quietly amazing, quietly amazing. So I'm excited that California Wild Ales is going to be joining that very cool beach town. And yeah, speaking of Dunkels, I had a Dunkel at Julian Beer Company this past weekend that was like chef's kiss. Yeah, really, really good. I guess it was the weekend before because I actually went to Julian to check out Nichols, I believe, 7th anniversary, and they had a cool, couple tripels on and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, the Dunkel that Julian Beer Company had on was, like, very fire. Very, very fire. I really recommend it if you find yourself in Julian. And, like, obviously you should. A, because we're talking to Calico, and they're in Julian, and that's great. But B, apple picking season is over. There's, is there a better time to go when it's not like absolutely jam-packed with people? So, and I saw Bill there, so that's true. Anyway, I really recommend people go check out the Dunkel and the barbecue, obviously, Julian Beer Company, and don't miss Calico or Nickel either. There's a finite amount of places to drink there, but they're all tip fucking top, so that's great. But on a little bit more of a somber note, LA Los Angeles County is under a stay-at-home order, and like stuff there is closing right and left. I think we have a curfew, which is like not ideal, but yeah, we're next. San Diego's totally next. So if everybody could just like do me a really big solid and wear your masks and maybe just like use more hand sanitizer and just like be less terrible about group stuff, that would like really be awesome. So just, everybody whose livelihood depends on the hospitality industry, which is like basically every single person watching this, let's just wear the masks. Let's just do everybody a solid. That would be so, so great. But we are heading into, look for an announcement tomorrow at noon. I don't know about what, possible stay-at-home orders or different restrictions or something like that, but good to know, Paige. So everybody stay tuned for tomorrow at noon, and we'll see if anything changes. But the holiday season is kicking into high gear. And a couple of things that I've seen that are happening is the Bountiful Bag. It is a local small business run by Fio and Romy, a pair of sisters from Peru who've obviously lived in San Diego for, years, and they've been part of the San Diego beer scene for a really long time. They're doing a holiday giveaway, so check them out on Instagram at The Bountiful Bag. It's a super great set of sisters who are doing really cool, like recycled, sustainable like merch and decor and stuff like that. So it's very cool. And, obviously Black Friday is over, but I'm not done like Christmas shopping by a long shot. So please do. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir, but I'd be remiss if I didn't say it. Shop small businesses this season, no matter what holiday you're shopping for, even if it's just for yourself. Like maybe just try to go that extra mile. I know Amazon Prime, like free shipping 2 days, like it's so great. It's so, so great. But like maybe just pop into a store around the corner from your house, wear a mask, help them out, get something cool. Just something to think about, like small business would be great. And if you are looking to make a couple extra moolahs in the holiday season or beyond, San Diego, the Brewers Guild has the job board at sdbeer.com, which is the website of the Brewers Guild. Please do peruse it, see what openings are out there, add to it if you have a job position available. So please do check out sdbeer.com to stay up to date with everything that's happening in the local San Diego craft beer scene. But I'm going to bring on our first guest, which is Ian at Calico Cidery. While I'm talking to any of the guests, please do feel free to comment, ask a question, anything like that. I will do my absolute best to get to everybody, basically if you have a good question or not. Because if you don't, I sometimes just skip it. But, whatever. Let us know what you're drinking. I always like to know. So without further ado, let's bring on Calico. Maybe. I got to find you in here. There you are. I love all the hearts I'm seeing. You're all so great. We'll see. I know. It's tricky. It's tricky sometimes. It takes a minute. But that's okay. We're connecting. And if it doesn't connect, then I'll just try again. We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. We always do. I think I've only not connected with somebody like twice in the last 8 months or whatever. And sometimes that's because they're in like Mexico and, they had a weird connection or something like that. So I'm going to cancel. Let's try again. No, don't do a happy face. That's ridiculous. Let's try. I'll just talk about California Wild Ales. I almost sent you a request again, which is great, but not today. Not today. We got to talk cider. We got to talk cider. And we maybe have to talk cider. And if this, for some reason, Calico doesn't work, you are also able to request to, excuse me, to join my screen. So we could try that way if there's, an issue on my end for some reason. But let's maybe do that. Let's maybe do that. There should be a little icon at the bottom of your screen, and you can request. You can see him. I don't see him. There's nobody. You see visual? This is very weird. I don't see anybody. You see me? I don't know. Thanks for everybody keeping me up to date because I have no idea what's going on. To me, it just says, there we go. What's up?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, why don't you do a quick intro for those people who might not know you?
Okay, cool. My name is Ian. I am a cider maker at Calico Cidery, and I manage the tasting room there as well. We're located in Wynola, which is a little down the hill from Julian and towards Ramona, but really close by, practically Julian.
We'll see.
And we have like a over 30-acre ranch. Then we do apples and pears and a few other little things. And most of that we turn into cider. So true fermented traditional cider. So and we have a tasting room that's open Friday through Sunday, 11 to sundown. We have a boutique winery license. We have to close when it gets dark. Which right now is frustratingly at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
We're open all year, and pretty fun atmosphere. We have a seating in our orchard and all that. But on the brewing side or on the cider making side, we do kind of like farmhouse style cider making, which is like they do in kind of bigger orchards in England and places in France, where they basically just most of the kind of cider making they make is all field blends, and we all press in big batches mainly, although we're more starting to experiment with smaller batches. And then we all ferment it on using the wild yeast. So just the apples, or just the yeast that's on the apples and the pear skins. So that's our way of doing it. Everything is kegged, and we just serve it pretty much just straight out of the tasting room. So yeah, that's our style of cider making. Yeah.
Well, and you guys are, obviously when people think of cider from Julian, they're like, oh, Julian Cider Company. But there are actually a decent amount of cideries in Julian and the surrounding area that don't just use Julian apples. And you guys do. You just use the apples that are on your orchard, which is literally right outside the tasting room. You walk outside and there's a damn tree right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we only use our own apples for the most part this year, but we started. We partnered with a local orchard, and we are going to, who's also a certified organic orchard, and we're certified organic, and we just made one-off batch of their apples, so that's kind of our first collaboration that we've done, so we're excited about that. But besides that, everything is from our own orchard. Looks like this year we'll also be making a sizer, which is like a mead and cider combo together, and that's only using the honey from our own farm as well. So we keep bees there, and we're excited about that too. But yeah,
awesome.
It's all truly from the farm. So yeah.
Well, and you guys, so I mean, there's definitely some like scaling up limitations enables, I suppose. And you guys typically only ever have four ciders on at any given time. And from I think the last time I was there, I mean, do you usually have a Perry, or is that just kind of like when you've got the pears and then like the dry stuff, and then like could you talk a little bit about like your approach to the small amount, but like the kind of core ciders that you put out?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we try to always have a Perry on tap. Um, it's unfortunately this year we had a terrible crop for pears, so we're not going to be having much Perry this year. Um, but that happens. We're looking, how we can prevent that from happening again. Yeah, we kind of just our yeah, we only have four on tap, and pretty much the way we handle that is just it's just sort of amorphous. It's like one thing, we run out of one thing, we throw the other thing on, and we
Mm-hmm.
try to keep it so that they're all a little different. So we kind of choose according to that, and yeah, we like this year we actually had like a persimmon apple combo, which was from persimmons that one of the owners' houses down in San Diego. They grew it in their house. Okay,
Close enough. Close enough. It counts.
close enough. Yeah. Anyway,
Totally counts. It's not
yeah.
from the Pacific Northwest, so it's fine.
No, no, still from the county. But anyway, yeah. So, and that was a little bit of a sweeter style cider making.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly by accident. It just kind of ended up that way, a little sweeter. The fermentation stalled, but
Yeah.
we just we had that on, which kind of balanced out some of the more drier styles, and it was a little bit more approachable for certain people who are used to cider, as in like that's more like Julian Hart cider.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a little sweeter, and that was kind of a good way of getting people more introduced to also more drier, more traditional style ciders.
Dry hop cider. When is that happening for me personally?
Cool. Again, sometime soon. Probably we didn't get around to doing one this year,
Mm-hmm.
but there actually is because unfortunately, yeah, like the grower at a Starby Ranch isn't really growing hops there
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
But there's this other guy that I found out too late in Julian that is growing hops. So hopefully next year. So fall 2021.
There's always next year, right? I
There's
feel like
always
2021, like let's just put all of our eggs in that basket and just be like, it's gonna be the best. Like I am prepared because I have no other alternative. Like I have to assume that it's gonna be like pretty dope, but we'll see. But I feel
yeah.
like you
Well,
guys go
yeah,
ahead.
I agree. I feel like in some ways it can only it's hard to say, a weird thing to say, can only get better, but because it's so bad, I feel like
Right.
eventually
That seems like
that's a
a
good way to look at it. Yeah, yeah.
that seems like a fair
But
guess,
yeah.
but I mean, your guys' so apple picking season is done. But do you guys do anything like? Do you have anything planned for the holidays or anything like that? Like the stuff that people want to know about coming up?
We don't really have anything like totally like anything super special planned. We
Yeah.
may do like last year we did this fun little event, which is a wassail, which is when you go out into the orchard and you toast the trees. And we had sparkling cider and someone played some French wassail songs and accordion, and we're thinking about maybe doing it again because it's the really easy thing we can do in a social distance way, just out in our orchard. Everybody's wearing masks,
Yeah.
and so we're thinking about doing that again. So that'll be in February, and it'll be pretty informal. We won't post much about it, but maybe a day or two before. But all y'all SD Brewers are now in the loop. So
See, I'm interested because I was supposed to go to a sale this winter in Virginia, which
oh
obviously is not happening.
yeah.
But yeah, I'd make like a human sacrifice joke because it's like a very gothic thing, but I feel like that's not chill for the pandemic, so we'll just move past that. But
Okay.
Ooh, not so good. But
Yeah.
where can
Yes.
people keep up with everything that's happening at Calico so that they can, what you've got on tap and
Yeah.
your hours and everything like that? Is social media, your website, where?
I would say the best way is at this point is Instagram, although we could do a better job with that as well. But we're kind of working on it.
Well, there's like
But
three.
the website is pretty good. It's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Revamped it, so I think definitely our Instagram, and then number two, the website. So
Sweet.
also, and we also one kind of cool thing is we will be starting to mess around with a little bit of natural wine, which is our owner David. He also has a winery up in Paso Robles, and he has a few grapes from there that we're just gonna kind of doing a little collaboration with that.
Mess around
We're
with.
just gonna be selling a little bit of that in the spring as well. So yeah.
All right. I'm putting that on my calendar. I'm coming back. I'm coming back for that. So thank you so much for checking in with us. I look forward to seeing you again soon. And cheers for now.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me on, Beth.
All
Yeah.
right.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, that was Ian over at Calico Cidery, which is definitely my de facto cidery in Julian, or close enough to Julian, Winola. But check them out, love them so much. They're great people, and their space is like extremely, extremely dope. So we're gonna bring on Wavelength. Blind Lady, I love your enthusiasm. We're gonna get to you 4:30. I promise. I love that you were on time, but we're gonna do Wavelength first, and then we're gonna wrap it up with Hidden Craft. But we're just gonna like chop it up with everybody, and it's gonna be great. I love that people tuned in for the cider. I love cider talk. More cider talk forever. Good
Hello?
times. Good times. I met Ian at CiderCon this year, which is
It's just
crazy
black
because it
up
was the last
top. I
time I
don't
was
know
on
if
a
you've added
plane.
me yet. We'll see.
Oakland. It was good times. CiderCon, as everything else, is virtual. Again, I'm having trouble connecting, and I just don't know why. And I feel
Hello?
like maybe you guys are seeing them, and I'm not. I'm just seeing myself, and it's just connecting. But
I don't know if you
you
can
can see
see or
both.
hear me.
So
I've got a
weird. Okay,
blank
I'm
screen.
gonna have Wavelength. If you could just request to be on here, and then I will accept that request because I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. So I'm gonna. Nope, we're not talking. We're absolutely not talking. You still see them now? This is so weird. I'm like, I wish I could take a screen. Well, I guess I could take a screenshot, but it doesn't matter for you guys. I see nothing. I see no one. So I'm gonna try one more time, and just this is so bizarre. Apple, right? Am I right? This is Apple's fault, I'm sure.
Oh, here we go.
Ah!
Hello!
There we go. Okay. I feel like somehow it's my fault, but I don't know why. But anyway,
It's the weather. Why not?
it's the weather. I
Yeah.
feel my phone got hexed. Like I don't.
Right.
But why don't we do a quick intro? Hi, nice to see you. Who
Hey,
are you? Where
hey.
are you?
Yeah, I'm Michael Ambrose. I'm over at Wavelength Brewing Company, actually, which is kind of cool. I'm doing the show live here. I'm the graphic designer. I'm one of the beer tenders. I'm the longest running employee as well. I just started doing distribution this year, except that went away because of everything. But yes, we are Wavelength Brewing Company. If you don't know who we are the science bar. Craft beer, craft science, all about science outreach and space outreach through our beer. Up until everything started recently, we had weekly science talks at our bar with local astronomers and chemists and science people. People would come in for a quick hour TED talk, as it were, drink some beer, learn some stuff. I think it's the only bar you can walk out of knowing more than what you walked in to, which is kind of neat.
I feel like that's a very fair assessment. And I mean, as far as like your focus in STEM, so, science, tech, engineering, and math, like what was kind of the thought process behind that? Like, why did you think that was something that like the beer community would just love or like needed?
Yeah, it really goes back to the fact that beer and all alcohol is chemistry. Without science, there'd be no alcohol, there'd be no beer. And that was a nice jumping off point to provide the community something it was desperately needed. I have yet to see another establishment really nail down this science outreach through their establishment.
Yeah.
So the fact that we got to break ground on that, and that the owner was already such a science person just by character, and we already knew people that had friends in NASA, friends in SpaceX, and even local stuff. So it was an easy to put together thing because we already had all the friends doing it.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for the Great Conjunction coming up on December 21st, Saturn and Jupiter? I'm a space nerd, so.
Yeah, I would be more excited if we could have our science talks here. We have a 16-inch telescope. We call it the BFT, our Big Friendly Telescope. And I have seen the rings of Saturn and the dot storm on Jupiter from Main Street Vista, just parking lot, with all the light pollution, everything through our telescope. So it would have been a really fun thing to check out. But, you know, if we have the time, we'll be up on Palomar with our telescopes doing our thing with our beer. So.
Nice. Yeah. So Beers Giving, Danny Oliver in Fort Worth, Texas. She's a big STEM advocate in the craft beer community. So I feel like you guys are gonna have to connect.
Yeah,
later.
Definitely.
Just like you guys should message each other because there's a lot of overlap with science stuff that I think you guys would really enjoy. But I mean, Wavelength, you guys are. I feel like people, you're in Vista, like not everybody knows about you. Like, what's something about Wavelength that people might.
I really like the fact that we call it full spectrum beer. So we like to have a menu that has absolutely everything on it. I believe we have about 9 on right now. We've got a couple IPAs. We've got a wit beer, a sour, a red. We're getting a Scotch ale coming up in the next couple weeks. So we like to make sure that our menu is always very broad. Of course, you have your hop heads, and it seems like there's either one or the other. You either love IPAs, you eat raw hops, or you're not exactly your thing. So we like to make sure that whoever walks in can find a beer they're going to enjoy.
Fair enough. Well, and I feel like you're staying in San Diego long enough, you'll start to like hops whether you like it or not. It's just like an inevitability. It's going to happen. So it never hurts to have a couple, a decent amount of hop forward beers on your draft list. But I mean, so holidays, like obviously a big time for people usually to be out and about, like drinking and stuff. Like, how can people get their hands on your beer? I mean, do you distribute to stores off premise at all? Like, where can people find it?
Yeah, as of right now, we are not. Hey, let me grab it. Let's see what it looks like. As of right now, we are not distributing to anywhere in particular. We are doing all of our beer to go. Right now, we're selling it. Everyone's got them right now. We've got Crowlers, fun 32-ounce cans. Right now for the holidays, they're all $10 too. So you're walking out with 2 pints of beer for $10. Which is super rad. On top of that, as the graphic designer, I have to push all of our merch. I'm very proud of a lot of it. I have being our sciencey, I hope it's not backwards. It should say... I
feel like we got it.
Yeah, it's great beers like planet Earth, not flat. So...
Sorry to all the flat earthers watching.
Yeah, exactly. We will die on that hill, I promise you. But so we're... Yeah. On that, yes. So we're almost done with our sweatshirts too. We haven't done those in a couple years. So we got shirts and sweatshirts with different designs. And then I also made, for the season, I've made cotton masks with the Wavelength logo. So you can't smile, but you can show people you like beer, which is basically a smile. So that's, right now out of our Vista Tap House, we have all of our Crowlers to go. That's the best way to get our beer. Until the shutdown happens, we have turned our parking lot into a patio that I'm currently staring at. And we're actually working because, as you know, you have to have some kind of food. A lot of people do food trucks, stuff like that, but we're Main Street Vista. You can't really park a food truck. We have barbecue friends right next door, and we've worked out some deals with them. So you buy some barbecue, buy some beer, and the paperwork's happy, and we get to enjoy some beer on a patio. So.
Hell yeah. And, I mean, like, we're all such wimps in San Diego. Like, I'm going to need that sweatshirt, like, kind of ASAP because it's 71 degrees, like, not interested in not wearing a sweatshirt.
Right. And then on top of that, I'm really, really excited because upon hearing about this and other stuff, I wanted to get some things rolling. Not this Friday, but next Friday, the 11th. We're actually going to do a science talk. We're going to go on Zoom with, she's an astrophysicist, Lisa Will, and she'll be coming in to talk about, it'll be a basic tour of the solar system. A Nobel Prize was just given in the subject of black holes, so she'll be bringing that up too. And the way to do that, actually, from today until next Friday, if you come into Wavelength or you go to our website and you buy anything, a beer, whatever, you'll get the code, and then you get the code to go to Zoom, and then you can come watch a science talk. It'll be about 45 minutes long, 8 o'clock, Friday the 11th. I will have all the info on our Instagram and on our Facebook by the end of day today, so those will be going up.
So, as far as social media, everything is at Wavelength Brewing?
Yeah, the website is wavelengthbrewingco.com, whereas our Instagram and our Facebook are both Wavelength Brew Co., I think, on the shorter end of things. But if you look Wavelength Brewing, we should pop right up.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for checking in with us. Oh, and just like side note, the Science Museum, the Reuben Fleet, they used to do the Sky Talks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever went to those, but I was a big fan of those. That's also where I found out, or I saw Saturn's rings for the first time because all of the astronomy club was outside. Anyway,
Yeah,
we'll talk later about like astronomy.
definitely.
Damn, I got a C in chemistry, so I'm not as good at that. But we'll talk about space. But thanks so much for checking in with us. Good luck with everything. Cheers for now.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Have a good one.
All right, cheers. Awesome. That was Wavelength Brewing Company. And I love that guy. And Danny, yeah, I saw you chatting in there. Like, definitely hit him up. Since it does seem to be some sort of issue with me not being able to connect, Blind Lady, if you could just request one more time and I will add you, maybe that will fix it. I don't know. I'm just like dying here. But yeah, Wavelength, I am super, super psyched on that. Yeah, I have been meaning to get another telescope because I had one when I was like 10. And anyway, I celebrated my first birthday on Saturn when I turned 29 and a half, but that was like a long time ago, so never mind. But yeah, if Blind Lady, if you could just request to join my screen one more time. Oh, perfect. View request. Fingers crossed it's going to work. I'm going to count on you guys to let me know if you see somebody again. Oh, there we go. That's all right. I guess that's what we got to do. You guys got to request it.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can. Why don't you do a quick intro for those watching, who you are and where you are?
I'm Jeff. I'm one of the owners of Blind Lady, Panama, Rip Tiger. I've bartended, do all the graphics, order things, fix things, break things, pretty much all of it for the last 12 years.
Yeah, I felt kind of stupid being like, introduce yourself, because I have a feeling that like literally everybody in San Diego, hey, we got people tuning in from like Boston and Texas, so you gotta do a little intro. Yeah, first off, I am extremely sad about Tiger, but you know what? Blind Lady is still alive in both our hearts and our stomachs, so like that's helpful.
Yeah. And Tiger was sad, but things happen, and only thing you can do is stay positive and keep moving.
True.
And keep doing stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, and I mean, so as far as Blind Lady goes, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have not reopened for dine-in. It has just been takeout like this whole time. Is that right?
Yeah, curbside only.
Yeah.
And really, there's three kitchen employees, 3 front of house employees. My wife works shifts and my daughter works shifts.
Making it happen.
Yeah. When we first reopened, it was really just Tommy, our chef, 1 cook, and myself, Clea, and my daughter Tuesday, and that was it. And we did everything. But yeah, doing what we can.
Oh yeah, and I mean, you guys are still getting your hands on like a shitload of really good beers. I mean, I know that every time I go to order, I'm like, oh, I'll just get a crowler. Oh, I'll just get that crowler. Oh, I'll get that bottle of wine. I'm like, oh my God, I just bought like 7 things. Like, oh crap. Because I can't resist. You guys are getting stuff from all over the place.
Yeah, it's been kind of fun because so many people are rushing to get their beers into cans that there's a lot of stuff available. Draft is a little harder to come by with some of the beers because, the breweries have to be safe and figure out how they can sell it. And putting it into cans, there's probably fewer roadblocks for them to deal with, especially when there's a shutdown or limitations to their business. Because I feel sorry for them, sitting on beer and we just got that email today from Paige saying that, there may be that lockdown coming up.
Yeah. And
there's going to be a lot of beer sitting there and people won't be able to buy it so easily.
Yeah.
And I'm getting stuff shipped in by the pallet from different people, which makes it easy. We've done some long drives to pick up stuff. So whatever it takes to get it here and, keep people happy.
Well, I'm certainly happy with the selections I've had. And it sounds like you guys have some holiday stuff, like the holiday flight event coming up. Do you want to talk a little bit about some of the things you have planned, assuming that things aren't going completely backwards, but that you have planned as of today?
Well, since we're curbside, this lockdown shouldn't affect us really. I mean, they're not going to close curbside. Um, when people come in here, normally they walk up to they come in, like if you're an IPA person, say you come in, you order your first beer, and then you walk up to the bartender and you say, all right, I had this, so what should I have next? And people don't necessarily drink 4 or 6 of the same thing.
Right.
But so in that spirit, we've been doing these mix 4-packs. We've got the ability to put stuff into 16-ounce cans as well. So we've taken some of the kegs that we get and just put them straight into cans. Right now we're setting up a Yeast of Eden flight, 4 Yeast of Eden beers that'll all go. We'll can them here and be selling those probably Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend. And we put we did those Firestone flights of the mixes of stuff there. We did one that was all parabolas, one that was just like One Stormy Night, and a few other beers on there. But yeah, the one we have right now is all holiday themed IPAs. For New Year's Eve, we're still gonna do our Belgian New Year's, and we're gonna offer mixed packs of Belgian beers to pick up so that you can get a bunch of stuff. Still working on being able to give away glasses to people when they buy those. And then we're bringing a little Tiger into the mix, and we're gonna have a time zone pack that's a beer from all the different time zones. So you pick it up early, and then you can drink your way across the country. Just trying to stay with even though we're limited to curbside, we still want this to be the experience of going to Blind Lady the closest it can be.
Yeah. Hey man, as long as I got a bacon and eggs pizza and like a dank IPA, like I'm set. So
yeah.
And I mean, I love hearing about that the Belgian New Year's, because for years I would just go to Ritual Tavern and do their Belgian New Year's, and I'm like, well, shit, they closed. Like, what am I going to do now? So that was like something I do by myself. So I'm like, oh no, I mean, I'll still do it by myself, but
yeah. Well, we don't open till 4:00, and Belgian New Year's would be at 3. So it's like we miss it this year, but we're still going to let you pick up like the Belgian beers, pick up some frites. We're going to do a special pizza for the night, and yeah, do what we can.
It's funny you said frites. Literally, I have like my notes right here, and I wrote best French fries in town.
Nice.
Like, they're so good. Every time I go to Panama or Blind Lady, Panama, I'll go and I'll get the curly fries because my kid is just like obsessed with them, and as am I. But yeah, I mean, Tiger was my spot, like around the corner from my house for years and years and years, and I was just like, I'm extremely sad that it's not there anymore. But like I said, as long as I can still get my bacon and eggs pizza, like I'll live.
I feel like Tiger did 9 years, and I feel like Tiger really accomplished what our goal was. When we opened Blind Lady, you got to think about back then. You were going to Hamilton's, Tornado, Livewire, Ritual here. Like those were really like in town. It was where you got craft beer,
right?
And we found that over in this neighborhood, like in North Park, we were the more family-friendly place. Yeah. And we'd get younger people coming in, and you could tell they were turned off by the families, the kids, and we'd sometimes get yelped about that. And we're like, all right, totally get that, if it's not your place. And then when Tiger, when that space became available, we really wanted to create Blind Lady, the vibe of Blind Lady, the community aspect of everything, but do it to where it was more comfortable for people who wanted just to go out for drinks and maybe food, as opposed to food with drinks. It was purposefully louder and darker, and it was my art background, like working with Jason, one of our bartenders, on getting like the poetry in there, getting different art stuff happening on the back patio, getting the DJs in there. Because when I go out, that's the kind of stuff that I like to go to as well. The Blind Lady is just one place that I like. So I feel like we brought that to North Park in a big way. and really
Yeah.
helped. And eventually we were going to get priced out. I mean,
Yeah.
North Park is so expensive. Like, we knew our days were numbered.
Yeah. Which is
So,
crazy. And it's funny you say, yeah, like the vibe, the family vibe of Adams Avenue is a lot different than the vibe of El Cajon Boulevard. So like,
oh yeah.
speaking, that was a wise choice for the situation.
Well, and it's funny, when we opened Blind Lady 12 years ago, I remember people saying Normal Heights.
Yeah.
Seriously? Like, nothing ever makes it in Normal Heights.
Right.
I mean, the Boiler Room, things that tried to happen way back when, they just don't make it. And I mean, my wife used to live upstairs. I lived right around behind this building. Since I moved in 91.
Yeah.
And so this was a neighborhood that we knew, and we were like, there's nothing really happening fun in this neighborhood. And we're in between neighborhoods that have things. So it makes sense, like, just jump in the middle in between everything and go for it.
Yeah.
And then when we opened Blind Lady Tiger on on El Cajon, people were like, seriously, El Cajon Boulevard?
Yeah.
And again, it was like, I can't afford 30th Street,
Yeah.
but I can afford around the corner. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, I mean, there's restaurant groups and stuff out there doing stuff. And I mean, we started in such a different way, I think, than so many people, is that we started with zero debt. It was just a group of us. And I mean, $50,000 or something like that was my in to get in here.
Yeah.
We bought Tiger, I think, for $30,000.
Right. That was a space.
Yeah, and I mean, we got in by like going into spots that people didn't want to open in, on a block that people weren't looking to do businesses on.
Yep.
And finding spaces that they were having a hard time getting a tenant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we helped over there. I feel sad, like, so much over on 30th Street, like right where we were is gone, and things, I hear about more things that are maybe going to leave. And I'm like, what's going to be on that block? Am I going to know any of the people anymore?
Yeah. I'm like, I mean, I'm psyched, Young Hickory is tight. And yeah, when Tornado closed, that was a weird moment. So it'll be interesting to see how it shapes. Because yeah, it's like, I lived in North Park for 10 years and I don't live there anymore. And I'm just like, I don't know, like, it's not even, yeah, it was, when I went to move there, all my relatives were like, North Park sucks. Like, what are you thinking? And I'm like, I love it. Like, I don't know. And now it's, yeah, I don't know. I could wax poetic about it all day. And I wish, don't let June shine. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. No.
I'll give so much of the credit for all of North Park happening to Sam and Joe, and opening Livewire, and then taking on Turf Club back in the day, and then Whistle Stop. And you would basically, the only reason you drove up and down 30th Street was to get from Livewire to Turf Club or to Whistle Stop. There was nothing in between that you would stop at, really. I mean, there were some dive bars and stuff, but nothing really happening. And I remember Dave Lively at Fall, we were business partners, and we would drive up and down that street and go, man, maybe we could put our office over here. Maybe we could do something over there, and just look at all the weird storefronts and stuff, and talk about how people should be doing things. And that was because we were going back and forth between those two bars, Yeah. And now look at it. It's insane.
Yep.
So.
It is. And I wish we could talk about it forever, because it's like a very big interest to me. But unfortunately, we've got to wrap it up. So, but thank you so much for joining me today. It was great to hear from you, and I will be by for that Belgian beer package, because that is my New Year's tradition. So I'm glad to revisit that.
Right on. Well, best of luck to you. Stay healthy and wear that mask.
Oh, you know it. All right. Cheers, man. Thanks so much.
See ya. Bye.
All right. And that was checking in with Jeff at Blind Lady, which was super duper. And I would love to chat with him all day, but I definitely want to make sure we get to Hidden Craft. I really appreciate your patience. We will make sure that we have enough time for you. And I did request you. And again, if this doesn't work, I'm going to need you to request. Maybe I'm just going to, oh, it says connecting. Ah, all right. I guess the fourth time is the charm. So hooray. Mm. Where'd you go? Now I see you, but maybe you don't see me.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't see you. I'm just seeing the wall. Ah, there we go.
Oh, hold on. Gotta.
We gotta do. Wait. Oh, look at that setup.
Here we go.
Oh my gosh, make yourself at home. I love it.
That's how we do it here at Hidden Craft. Make
Shit,
yourself
I'm at home and it's just like, look at my garbage room. It's like,
right. Let me see if I
thank
can get a little closer to hear you a little better.
All right, that sounds good. Well, thank you so much for your patience. What can you do a quick intro of who you are and what Hidden Craft is?
Excellent. Well, my name is Ryan. I'm the Hidden Craft craft beer manager. We're a restaurant that offers 36 all San Diego beers and ciders and hard seltzers on tap, and we also feature a self-pour beer system, which is a lot of fun. You come in here, you get a prepaid card, and you go up to the beer wall that we have over here with an awesome selection of San Diego beers and ciders, and you go up there, you put your card in, and it charges you by the ounce. So if you just want to try a little bit of it, you can before you buy it, and it charges you accordingly by the ounce, and you pick one. If you want half a glass, you can have half a glass. If you want a full glass, go ahead and pour yourself a full glass. Kind of totally up to you. Really have some great food items on our menu to pair with our beer options as well. A lot of people really get down on that. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far. We just opened up a couple months ago, so we're pretty new. The welcome we've received from the craft beer community has been awesome. It's just been people coming in like, oh my gosh, we love beer, we love cider, we love the place. It's a really just cool, comfortable place to come in, have some good beer, have some good food, good conversation as well.
You are getting a lot of love in the comments for your mustache. So sure, lots of love.
Great story about the mustache. It was actually my girlfriend's idea.
You know, it's funny when you say, for just a split second, you were like, funny story about the mustache. It was my girlfriend's, and I was like, where is he going? Like, just for a second, I was like, where is he going with this? But that's the cleanest possible outcome of that sentence that I can imagine. So,
oh, absolutely, yes. It's just fun for me because it's like, oh wow, what does she think of it? And then I'm like, oh, it was her idea actually.
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, you know what? Oh, the rules are out the window and for everything. Do whatever makes you happy. I love it. So so as far as this is just kind of a nerdy question for me, as far as the self-serve aspect of it, is it like a proprietary thing, or are you going through like a provider like Pour My Beer or one of those other places that get you set up like that?
So we are using the Pour My Beer draft system. Oh, sorry, you might hear the trolley going in the background. That's another cool thing about our location.
Okay.
Every now and then you get a little trolley action.
I have some friends who work for Pour My Beer, so every time I hear like self-serve, I'm like, oh, I wonder who they're using.
Yeah. So yeah, we're using Pour My Beer. They are just fantastic, especially when it comes to me. I've never dealt with anything like this before coming here. So they've just been, every time I call them, if they don't answer, they call me back within 10 minutes. And one time they even had a guy down here to help me show me how to change a card reader, which was really cool. Just the amount of comfort you get from that is really nice and reassuring.
Well, and it takes a lot of tweaking and finessing because, you know, there's people after you've served yourself a couple of beers, you're like, there's foam issues and people don't know how to pour it and this and that. So I feel like there's definitely an element of like user education, and people who are into that concept get used to it, but people who aren't as used, or maybe haven't been to Hidden Craft yet, haven't been to, you know, Barrel Republic or anything like that, like it can be a little overwhelming to like pour it the proper way and figure it out. So, so that's, yeah, I mean, I think that's super cool. But one thing that I really like about you guys, like, so you're relatively young, you opened during the pandemic, but you really, I feel like, have gone full steam ahead as much as you possibly can since opening. Like, you're doing things like featuring different brewers of the week. I think last week it was Bivouac Cider. You're doing like a virtual patio chat with Second Chance after this. Like, how has it been entering your community during such a like bizarre time?
You know, we've seen a lot of. Hold on, I'll wait for the trolley one more time.
Okay.
We've really seen a lot of like familiar faces coming back. A lot of people, when they come in here for the first time, they're coming back again really quickly, which is really, really cool to see because they see what we have to offer here. And they're really embracing it despite the struggles that everybody's going through right now.
Yeah.
And so that's really reassuring to know that, you know, hey, despite the fact that we're downtown and we, you know, most of these buildings are at about 10% capacity right now, so we're really just not getting a lot of foot traffic down here. The fact that people are still going out of their way to come out and support us and make sure that we're feeling that love is really, really cool. We've really appreciated that.
Well, and I feel like downtown San Diego has been this like quiet behemoth in terms of evolution, just in terms of the eateries and drinkeries that are coming in down there. And the amount of people, I feel like in the last 5 years, I'm like, I actually know people who live downtown, whereas 10 years ago, that was like absolutely not a thing. And I read something where it's like by 2030, there's going to be like 90,000 more housing units downtown, something crazy. And I'm just like, there are a lot, there's physically a lot of people who like, that's their bubble. Like they're downtown, like you can be their local bar. And like you said, like a lot of the places aren't at capacity, and that's, you know, pretty standard across the board, but there's only more people who like, that's their home base. So it's good to be situated there, or so I think.
It is. It's a really fun location, you know, like I've said, you've heard the trolley going through. That's kind of fun when you're here. You feel it on the ground and stuff like that. And, you know, we've got Resident Brewing as our neighbors right down the street as well. So they've been really cool, and, you know, we're, you know, always giving each other, you know, hey, if you like it, you should go down there, you know, right down the street. There's a cool place to go to. So that's really nice. Just embracing our neighbors. And,
well, and it's a totally different setup too. Like they're a brewery, like they have their beer. Maybe they'll get on, but like that's not their thing. But like they can come to your spot and like there's 36 different beers, 3 dozen different beers from all place of San Diego, and that's just a different. You're a beer bar basically. You're not a brewery, so it's very cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And yeah, like you said, we're trying to, you know, just be as active as possible because there's so much fun to be had in San Diego craft beer. Like later on tonight, we've got Virginia Morrison coming in with Second Chance and talking with Amy Spackman, our craft beer consultant. It's just really cool to see all of us, you know, still having fun with it, you know?
Absolutely.
It's really a testament to the community of San Diego craft beer.
Definitely. Well, what are some things that the San Diego beer community can do to support you right now through the holidays? You know, you're doing this virtual chat right after this, but do you have any holiday events or anything like that that people should be aware of and keep on their radar for the next couple of weeks, or just in general?
Well, we are trying to do a bunch of like just little fun things every now and then. So anytime you look at your calendar, you can check us out and see something that's coming up that you could be able to attend. It's usually, you know, pretty, you know, hey, we're doing this. Like we do little movie showings every now and then. We did a Friendsgiving dinner over Thanksgiving. A lot of fun stuff like that. Food and beer pairings are going to be a thing that we're going to be doing here pretty shortly.
Love that.
Yeah, just really small, easy things, you know, that we can bring small groups of people together and safely enjoy a good time out, if you will, right?
Definitely. Well, what's the best way for people to keep up with everything that's going on? Social media, newsletter?
Yes, yes. So on our website, we do have a newsletter going. It's hiddencraftsd.com as well as hiddencraftsd on Instagram and Facebook. We're always going at it on there. We want everybody to know what we have going on because we do get really excited about what we're doing here. And we're proud of it, and we want people to enjoy that. You know, it's a fun way to keep people together while things aren't very certain right now. Even if you want to stay home, you know, we're on Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash. You can get a growler delivered with your food, so that's a great way to do it as well. You're thinking about a little family dinner time with, you know, some beers for mom and dad. Yeah, definitely get your kids something good on the menu. Get yourself something tasty and throw in a growler as well.
Well, and Amy just chimed in and said that the chefs are from Jane's Gastropub, which I'm like, hello.
They're so incredibly talented. There's no bounds to their talents at all.
No, not at all. Like that is a selling point. So be sure to tell me that earlier next time, because I would have already been driving out of my house. Be like,
Hey, it doesn't take that long to open up the DoorDash app.
Hey, that's true. That's true. So, well, hey, thanks so much for checking in with us. Everybody give them a follow on social media. And yeah, good luck through the holidays. Wear those masks. And yeah, congrats on opening and making it through such a weird time.
Absolutely, Beth. Thank you so much for having us on. We really appreciate it.
You bet. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. That was Hidden Craft. Thanks so much, everybody, for sticking with us for a little bit of a longer episode. I just get so excited talking to these people. This is great. We had such a great lineup. Obviously, we always do, but I feel like today, you know, getting to check in with cideries and science nerds and, you know, Jeff at Blind Lady, you know, R.I.P. Tiger, forever and ever, amen. And Hidden Craft, who I haven't made it down there yet because I don't live super close to downtown, but yeah, I'm like, ooh, chefs from Jane's and 36 different beers. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sold. And obviously I love Amy. Thank you so much for watching. So it does sound like they are going to be, Hidden Craft specifically, is going to be doing a patio beer chat with Virginia Morrison from Second Chance Beer Company and the San Diego Brewers Guild Inclusion Committee with Amy Spackman, who is part of the Pink Boots Society here. Maybe president. I don't even remember. I'm like, you're super high up in Pink Boots, San Diego, and the craft beer connoisseur, the head of the craft beer program at Hidden Craft. So be sure to tune in with what they are going to be doing. I think in an hour or so, 6 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, check out Hidden Craft on Instagram for all of the deets. But this is the end of this show. Thanks for bearing with us. We'll be back next week. 4 o'clock. I'm like, what time is it? 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. Pacific time. So if you'd like to be on a future episode, please reach out here on the San Diego Brewers Guild Instagram or at my Instagram handle, which is The Delighted Bite. And we can set that up. So remember, until next time, Black Lives Matter, drink local independent craft beer, wear your fucking masks, and be cool to